Frugal Crafter. Welcome to another Sunday Konmari crafty chat. And the reason I just wanted to pop in and kind of share an update is because just these simple informal videos, I get so many really nice comments and people reaching out, sharing their journey, their story, where they're at with their Konmari or decluttering or minimalism journey. I'm not a minimalist by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm certainly going on a path towards where I want to be, which isn't necessarily a minimalist, but it's definitely a more intentional person. So instead of going to the Dollar Tree and grabbing a couple bags of baby wipes and all this other junk I see that I didn't know I needed until I saw it, I am just saying, you know what? I really don't need the baby wipes, and I certainly don't need all the other stuff, and I'm going to make do with what I have and see if it's really a need or just something that's a convenience. So when I was doing my live stream on Friday and I was cleaning up afterwards, I try to tidy up afterwards so I can come downstairs to my room and have a nice, you know, clean space to work in the weekend if I have a little free time. I was putting away my stuff and I found my little swatch. This isn't it, I've been going through the store, but so I took my little paint swatch, and what I do before live stream is I figure out what colors I'm going to use, I see how many mixes I can make from those colors, and I determine whether or not that's the right amount of colors or the right colors to do my painting with. And this is this week's live stream painting. It is available for free. You can replay it, you can paint along. I also have a new class out, but we'll, you know, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is random things that I still hoard, and these little paint swatches. I open up the drawer and I put my little paint swatch in and I smile and it sparks joy, and I just love seeing these beautiful gems of all of these little paint swatches from past live streams. Funny thing is, I'm not attached to any of the artwork that I make on a live stream. I usually sell it. I have very few pieces that I've done during the live streams, even though they're so much fun and I enjoy the community, and I think that maybe that's what it is. This is a little sentimental. It reminds me of the fun, the community aspect, hanging out with you guys and painting along with you, and I like that little memory of it. So what I am saving these for, and what I intend to do eventually, is to do a big collage with these and hang them up on my wall over there. So if you look behind me, you'll see that this shelf is all my stamp binders now. They're no longer on the wall over my bench over there. They all fit on this shelf. I actually have some other stuff on the underneath part, and then they're right next to my wooden stamps here, which a lot of you guys commented on. Thank you very much. This, by the way, this is, I'm gonna say, I'm about 5'4", so this shelf's about 6 feet high. It's made by 1x4 pine, and I would say it's about 4 feet wide or so. I don't have a tape measure on me, but those are approximately the dimensions of that. And I put the stamps on a kitty corner so I can see them, but I can fit more on there. And I did not declutter many wood-mounted stamps because, again, they spark joy. I didn't unmount the wood-mounted stamps because looking at these little beauties spark joy. So I do get a lot of comments on that. Why don't you just unmount them? They take like 2 binders, you know. But I just like the way they look. I like taking one off the shelf and creating with it and putting it back on the shelf. It's fun. I enjoy it. So there's the first random thing that I hoard, but I do have an intention for them. I am hoarding it for a reason, because I intend to make artwork with it when I have a big enough stash of these. So something else that I hoard is something that I actually asked somebody else to hoard for me, which is kind of crazy. Or not hoard for me, but collect for me. I have done projects, a lot of projects in libraries and schools where I have like 0 budget and I want to be able to make something kind of fun and interesting, and also teaching the kids that they can make art with whatever they have. And I needed a bunch of bottle caps. So I knew a friend of mine was having several parties. Actually, it's Sarah. You probably know her from the live streams. And they would have get-togethers every once in a while, and they've got a bunch of, you know, young friends with no kids, and they get together and they'll have some beers and whatnot. So I asked her if she would save me bottle caps, and did she ever. I have this huge can full of bottle caps. I've got others. I've given some away, and I still have a ton, and I'm thinking I might do some large collage project with this too. If I don't use it in a year or two, I'll probably give it to somebody. The only thing is, there are a lot of beer bottle caps, and I will often spray paint them if I'm working with kids, and I don't know if a school will want to have a bunch of beer bottle caps. But that's another thing that I hoard. And the other thing that I actually have collected over a few years are these wine corks. And intentionality is something that I'm not I'm not striving to be a minimalist, but I am definitely being more intentional with what I buy and what I consume. And so I was looking at this bag of wine corks, and I saved them because I'll put them on the end of like an X-Acto knife. I always lose the covers for the X-Acto knives, so this keeps me from, you know, cutting myself. These are also really good, these rubber ones, for if you use files, for filing down wood or clay, or even filing down like pastels or something to make kind of sprinkly, rainbowy mixture for things. Your files get really grimed up and gross, and or if you're filing down plaster or some other like mold material, I find that I can take one of these rubber corks and rub it on the file, and it cleans it really well. It like shaves off all the gunk, and you're brought back to that file. So that's another way I use it. My husband will use these on his grinding tools in his wood shop, and that will clean them. But as I was looking at this this bag of corks, I decided I wanted to keep them because I am not adding to that bag very often. Now, probably anybody will tell you that having a few glasses of wine a week is not a problem. And I'm not going to tell you it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem. However, I was probably having a bottle of wine a week. I would have a glass probably 4 nights a week, and nobody else. My husband doesn't drink wine, so it would just be me, and I wouldn't want it to go to waste. So, you know, but and it takes me a long time to drink a glass of wine. I'm talking like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's just a regular size glass. So I'm like sitting on my butt watching TV, or I'm reading, and reading is good and everything. But what occurred to me one day was that this has become a habit, and it's not a treat anymore. And even though it's not an addiction, it's definitely a habit. And so back in July I said, you know what, I'm gonna see if I can go the month without having any glasses of wine. The only glass of wine I had was at a friend's house at a party, and it was like at the last day of the month. I think I had a glass of wine on the 4th of July, but other than that, I mean, nothing, and I didn't miss it. And so instead of buying a bottles of wine that have the corks, I'm now getting, you know, a 4-pack of the single serve ones, and you know, that'll last me a month. So I'm not going to get any more corks unless I want to go to the craft store and buy corks, but I have these, so obviously I'm not going to get rid of them. I'll use what I have. But you know, it just taught me to be more intentional, because I really feel like women get marketed to big time when it comes to wine. Well, we get marketed to big time about everything. For, you know, and I'm not going to go on some big feminist rant, but for a segment of the population that generally earns less than their male counterparts, we spend more and we control more of the money, you know, in consumer goods. So the thing that, like, I noticed, like, every article I read, every article is shared on Facebook, every, like, cute little picture. You walk through the Christmas tree shop and you see, like, a wine glass inside of a tumbler saying Mummy's sippy cup. And, I mean, I just feel like this is a culture, and we are marketed to heavily and expected to, like, you know, oh, life's too hard, have a drink. Life's too, you know, stressful, have a drink. You know, and I just feel like it's kind of an unhealthy mindset, and I don't want to perpetuate it. And I'm not going to shame anybody or tell anybody they should. I enjoy a glass of red wine just like everybody else, or just like a lot of people, but I don't need to be told that I need to have that every day to be, you know, a woman, a modern woman. I just think that, and you can just kind of like not even realize that you're constantly seeing images and being marketed to, and having that like image of what a modern woman is and what you're expected to do, and you deserve that. At the end of the day, you deserve that treat. You have the choice, you have the power to choose whether you want it intentionally, or choose if, I don't really need it. It's empty calories. I mean, that was one of the reasons right there. It's empty calories, and I've been I've put on, you know, a few pounds over the last few years, and I'm trying to lose them, and that definitely was not helping me. It wasn't helping me reach my long-term goals. It wasn't helping me be more intentional, and it was causing me to sit on my butt 4 nights a week when I might have gotten up and done something. So I'm not saying don't drink wine. I'm just saying make your choices intentional, and that is what my random hoarding has kind of brought to light and reminded me of, and I thought it was something worth sharing. Your choice might be different than mine. You may find a great amount of value in, you know, having a glass of wine with dinner, and that is fine. The French do it. They're the healthiest, one of the healthiest segments of the I don't know, the world, and that's a very common thing for them. But for me, it was empty calories I didn't need, and I want it to be a treat when I have it. I don't want it to be like a habit, I guess. So make your treats treats, and your habits habits. And, you know, the more and more I walk into stores, I see how much habitual purchasing we make. It's not like it's a it's a special thing anymore. It's something out of habit. It's like when, you know, you were a kid, going to a restaurant was probably a treat, and now it's like, oh well, you know, that's easy. I'm gonna go pick up takeout, or we're just go out to eat. That way I don't have to deal with the mess, and I don't have to deal with cooking, you know, and it becomes a habit. And you don't look forward to it. It's not special, and a lot of times it's not as good as what, you know, you expected or you were hoping for, or you could cook yourself, but you just get in that habit. So I guess if you want to take away anything from this video, it's just to be intentional. Be intentional with the things you keep. Be intentional with the things you consume. Be intentional with the things you buy. I'm not going to tell you not to buy, keep, or eat anything. Everybody's choice is going to be different, but be intentional about it and make sure you're making a choice because it's something that's going to add value to your life and not something that bazillion marketers have told you need to have to be a valid modern woman or man or whatever. You know, do what's right for you, do what gives you value, and I think if we all did that, we'd all be a lot happier and a lot richer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have anything to add, please add it in the comments below. I love to read your comments on these KonMari videos because you guys are so insightful. Have a great rest of your weekend. I know it's almost over. Until next time, happy crafting.